If you go into the NASCAR history books and you find Paul Menard, you'll probably think he's just a normal average driver who would have little success in the top division. But I disagree. This is a new series on my channel called Unappreciated Drivers, where I will be covering my favorite drivers who have had little to no success in NASCAR, or just had extremely short careers and we didn't get to see their full potential. This is Underappreciated Drivers. Menard. Now you're probably wondering why the sponsor is the same as his last name. Well, his father, John Menard Jr., founded up a home improvement company in 1960. In 1962, the first Menard's hardware store opened, and it kept on growing, going to states like Iowa, Minnesota, North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, Illinois, Indiana, and Michigan, just to name a few. In the late 70s, the founder, John Menard Jr., was interested in auto racing, and in 1980, John Menard Jr. founded Team Menard. They would compete in karts from 1991 to 1996, with the driver Scott Bryant on the pole for the Indy 500. Tony Stewart used this team for part of his 1996 to 1997 IRL championship. Team Menard kept on racing in IRL and kart, but John Menard Jr.'s son, Paul Menard, would start to go up the ranks in stock car racing. In 2000, Paul Menard would race in the NASCAR Midwest Series, where he would do pretty decent, getting 1 top 5, 7 top 10s, with an average starting position of 12.7 and an average finishing position of 13.3. He still wouldn't get any wins this year though. In 2001, Menard would race again. In the NASCAR Midwest Series, Menard got 4 top 5s, 7 top 10s, and an average finishing position with 11.4, and most importantly, he got his very first win in the division. In 2002, in the NASCAR Midwest Series, Menard would get 3 top 5s and 9 top 10s, with 2 poles, and an average finishing position of 10.1. This year, he also raced 3 races in the NASCAR Southwest Series, winning 1 of them, and getting a top 10 in all of them, and he had an average finishing position of 6. In 2003, Menard would race 1 race in both of the series, getting a top 5 in the Midwest Series, but only getting a top 10 in the Southwest Series. This year, he raced 4 races in the ARCA Menard Series. Yes, it's sponsored by his father. He got 1 win with 2 top 5s and 2 top 10s. He also got a pole that year. He also raced 5 races in the Craftsman Truck Series, getting just 1 top 10. He raced 6 races in the Xfinity Series that year, just also getting 1 top 10. And he raced 1 Cup Series race that year, which he would place 29th. In 2004, Menard would run in the Xfinity Series, racing in 27 of the 34 races. He didn't get any top 10s, but he did get 1 pole. And the next year in 2005, he would get another start in the Cup Series, finishing 27th. But in 2005, this would be his first full-time season in one of the big series, and that would be in the Xfinity Series. He would get 6 top 5s and 15 top 10s. He would also get a pole with an average finish of 16.6. In 2006, Menard would race in the Cup Series 7 times and get 1 top 10. And in the Xfinity Series, he did another full-time season, getting 7 top 5s, 16 top 10s, an average finish of 16.9. Most importantly, well, you can just see for yourselves. Coming off a lot of momentum from the 2006 season, he would race 1 race in the Truck Series, placing 33rd. But he'd only race 11 races in the Xfinity Series, getting 1 top 5 and 5 top 10s. But in the Cup Series, he would race 30 out of 36 races. He wouldn't get any top 10s or really anything, with an average finish of 26.8. In 2008, he would have 36 starts, all coming from the Cup Series. He would get a top 5 and a pole that season. And in 2009, in the Xfinity Series, he would race 16 races, getting 1 top 5 and 4 top 10s. But in the Cup Series, he'd get zeros across the board again. In 2010, in the Xfinity Series, he ran the full schedule, getting 4 top 5s and 19 top 10s, finishing 5th in the points. And in the Cup Series, he would get 1 top 5 and 6 top 10s, getting his best finish in the point standings at 23rd. And the next year in the Xfinity Series, he would only race in 7 races, but he did get 4 top 5s and got a top 10 in all of them. He even won the pole twice. And in the Cup Series, although he didn't get any poles, he got 4 top 5s and 8 top 10s, and getting a better championship finish of 17th. But there's also something else that happened this season. After Jamie McMurray starts to slow, it looks like Paul Menard's got the race in the bag. But then in comes Jeff Gordon. The 4-time NASCAR Cup champion goes to the inside to pass Mark Martin in second. Jeff's definitely got the faster car, but Menard's got a pretty big lead on him. But there's lap traffic. Menard gets around the lap traffic pretty easily, but so does Gordon. Gordon goes as fast as he can trying to gain ground, but it doesn't end up working. And you know what they say, what happens next is history.
Final corners. Good corner here. 30-year-old Paul Menard, his family with such a long racing history in Indianapolis, they'll kiss the bricks together now. 400.
Right before Paul Menard won the race, one of the commentators said something that would end up coming true.
This is going to be the biggest day of Paul Menard's life.
In the Xfinity Series in 2012 and 2013 combined, he got a total of 5 top 5s and 9 top 10s. And in the Cup Series, he got 4 top 5s, but he did get 18 top 10s, 9 from 2012 and 9 from 2013. Although he would get top 10s consistently, it looked like Paul Menard's career was about to go down. But then, the next 2 years said otherwise. In the Cup Series in 2014, Menard would get 5 top 5s and 13 top 10s. And in the Xfinity Series, he would get 3 top 5s and 5 top 10s. But there's something else in that season. He got his second Xfinity Series win. And the next year in the Xfinity Series, he'd win again at Road America, still getting 3 top 5s, but this time he got 6 top 10s. And in the Cup Series, although he only got 2 top 5s and 5 top 10s, he got his best championship finish that he would ever get. In 2016, he would get 4 top 5s and 6 top 10s in the Xfinity Series. But in the Cup, he'd only get 3 top 10s with no top 5s. In Xfinity in 2017, he'd get 2 top 5s and 3 top 10s. In the Cup, he'd match that. In 2018, he'd get 1 top 5 and 4 top 10s in the Xfinity Series. In the Cup Series, he'd get 1 top 5, but he'd get 7 top 10s in the Cup Series. And in his last year, he jump shipped from RCR to the Wood Brothers for 1 final season. In the Xfinity Series, he'd get 2 top 5s, which only raced in 2 starts. And in the Cup Series, he'd get 4 top 10s and no top 5s. Was he the best driver? No. Was he good for his time? No, also not really. He's just a really average driver with a lot of sponsorship money, and he usually wouldn't tear your cars apart, so you'd be more than happy to have him race for your team. So what's the point? Why make a whole video about a driver that got no more than 4 wins throughout all of the series in his career? Well, I can't answer that, but I want to give more recognition to the underappreciated drivers. This is Underappreciated Drivers, Menard.